how to turn your practice swing and turn it into your game swing. Today we're going to talk about that because I see it being a huge issue with a lot of players in today's game. I'm going to share with you in this video what my dad did to help me to take my practice swing and turn it into a game swing. And I'm also going to share with you what I'm doing with my players. But before I share with you the story, if you look right here, this is a player that I've been online coaching, and as you can see, his swing is very good. I mean, there's some things we're working on right now as far as the bat wrap, as you can see right here, but I mean, he has bat speed for his age and he can hit. Look at that swing. He has some lightning hands for his age group. But if you look over here, you'll see that it's a completely different swing. He barely moves his feet and it becomes very handsy, right? Very, very handsy and no lower half at all, right? We're trying to get this swing and change it and get him over here to this swing. So I'm going to share with you what I shared with him and his dad. I think it's going to make a big change if you do it, if you apply it. But first, for a limited time, I'm giving away a free swing analysis. So if you're interested in taking your game to the next level, comment below what you're struggling with, and then click the link below and it'll take you to another page where you'll answer a few questions. And if I get back to you, then you won your free swing analysis. In this analysis, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to take your game to the next level. If this is something you're interested, tell me what you're struggling with below and click the link and let's get started. Let me tell you the story of what my dad did with me. So I was pretty similar to this kid right here, and probably you if you're watching this video, or if you have a son. I would do the same thing where I would be teeing off in the cage, just hammering baseballs, real confident, loud, having a blast. And then I'll go into the game and I wouldn't have the same energy. I would be shy. I would be timid. It was like two completely different players. And I remember my dad was just thinking, like, how can I fix this issue? How can I fix this issue? And so what he did was, the first thing was, he had a conversation with me. He was just like, hey, what's going through your head? And I was just telling him, like, nothing. I'm a young kid. I don't say much back. I'm just, saying, I'm good. But, I was shy and timid and maybe even a little scared at times. And he just told me, hey, you don't have to, there's no pressure. The difference between practice and the game should be the same thing. It's your time. It's just you should be having fun. That's what the game is. Practice should be hard where you're practicing, but we still kind of have fun. But the game should be all your time and you should have fun. There's no pressure on my side. There's no pressure at all. You just play your game and enjoy it. And then after, we can talk about what we need to do to get better. And that took a little bit of ease off me, or a little pressure off me. And that was like the first step to me turning my practice swing into the game. Now, I didn't completely go full force and change my swing at that point, but it was the next thing that really helped me to turn my practice swing to my game swing. So he kept thinking about, all right, what could I do to help him? What could I do? And what we started doing was, when we would hit in the front yard with wiffle balls, which I highly recommend you guys do, what he started doing was, he started saying he was the player at the time, like the best pitcher at the time. So he'll say he was Randy Johnson, or he said he was Greg Maddux, or he'll say he was Clemens, or he say he was the best pitcher during that day when I was growing up. And he would try to do their wind up, and he would say, hey, there's 40,000 fans screaming your name. And then he would say that, he would introduce me. He's like, now batting number 1, Jermaine Curtis. And he would like say, the crowd, look at the crowd. Do you hear it? Do you smell the grass? And he put me in that environment. And then he would act like he was the pitcher. And every time I would square a baseball up, he'd be pumped, he'd be juiced, and it became fun. And that right there transformed me to taking my swing, my practice swing, to the game, because at that point I was in the game while we were practicing, and I started to really stop feeling the pressure when I was actually in my real game. So that's something I've been sharing with a lot of my players, and they've been having great success. And when I'm practicing with them, that's exactly what I do. I start to imitate the players at right now who they look up to. I'll say, hey, I'm Garrett Cole, which I play with Garrett Cole, so I talk about him and I share stories about him. And so I'll say, hey, I'm Garrett Cole, don't let me strike you out. And then I'll say, hey, the crowd is going crazy. Or what I'll also do is I'll put have them wear AirPods, or when I'll put some background music, some noise, some crowd screaming, and then I'll face them, and they get into that environment where it's not just practice, they're in the game. And since I put them in that world, they start to feel comfortable when they start doing it themselves on a day-to-day when they're playing in their normal games. So that's a hack right there that's going to help a lot of you guys. And you can add to this. You can be in the front yard with your dad. If you have a son, you can do that. Or you can also do visual things where you look inside of a mirror and you visualize and you listen to music and stuff like that. You can figure out ways to do this. But my few keys, if I had to explain what you should do, is if you're a dad, do not put pressure on your kid. Forget the pressure, because they're already feeling the pressure. And see how ways you can minimize that. Just tell them, hey, I'm here to support you. Your time is just to play. When it's game time, you just go out there and play and you have fun. So eliminating that pressure on your side, because as a kid, you always want to impress your dad. And so if you just eliminate that right there, then that will go far. And then the second thing I highly recommend you do is start creating this fun environment, practice environment, where you start to put them into the situations, games on the line, bases loaded, all those things. And I think that really propelled me to going as far as I did in baseball, because I became mentally strong. I wanted that at bat because we kept doing this year after year. Every weekend we would do it. That was our time, father-son time, in the front yard doing this, visualizing, saying, hey, I'm Greg Maddux. Don't let me strike you out. Don't let me do this. And then when I would get a hit, he'd be like, the crowd is roaring. Do you hear it? And I'd be pumped up. I'd be juiced. And next thing you know, when the game's on the line, I always wanted to be up at the plate, because I was practicing that from the age of 5 years old, that I could achieve the success. I could be the person that gets the big hit. And I always wanted to be the person that get the big hit. And I think if you do these things, it's definitely going to transform your kid, because it's all mental. So you're going to transform how he sees the game, and you're going to just blend practice and the game, and he's going to take his in-game swing and turn it into his game swing. And it's going to be great, and it's going to be fun to see. So with that said, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next video.